Look at some cool drums from around the world, and some you may not have heard of. Number 1, Asian drums, the taiko from Japan. In Japan, taiko drumming is both an art form and a spiritual practice. The word taiko simply means drum in Japanese, but the performance is known as kumi taiko, involves a group of drummers creating intricate rhythms and movements. Japan has been using taiko drums for more than 2,000 years. They were first employed at religious rituals and then military settings. These great drums are still an integral aspect of Japanese society today, not only in religious rituals, but festivals and live performances.
Rising.
Number 2, the Americas, the Congo drum from Cuba. African drums were brought to Cuba by African slaves and are the origins of the Congo drum. It developed throughout the 1800s and became essential to Cuban music. In Afro-Cuban music, genres including mambo, salsa, and rumba, Congo drums are indispensable. Jazz and other modern music genres also employ them. Number 3, the djembe from Africa. Now in Africa, drums are more than just a musical instrument. They are a means of communication. The djembe, the goblet-shaped drum, is one of the most iconic instruments of West African music. Originating from the Mandinka people of West Africa, the djembe drum has been used for centuries. And its name comes from the Bambara saying, Anke de, Anke be, which means everyone gathered together. Now this beautiful drum is used in various ceremonies, including weddings, baptisms, and funerals. It is also used in traditional dances and storytelling. The drum's rhythms are often complex and can convey messages and represent specific cultural stories. Number 4, the pahu from Hawaii. Drum is a traditional Hawaiian drum fashioned with shark skin heads that is carved from coconut trunks and breadfruit trees. Now, the Hawaiian word for drum is pahu, whereas the word for coconut is niu. The pahu is one of the most significant percussion instruments known to Hawaii, both ancient and modern, and of the 4 main indigenous musical types, like wooden drums, knee drums, calabash drums, and bamboo pipes, even though there are many specific types of percussion instruments used in Hawaiian cultural music. And this drum, which is generally played with the palms and fingers of the hand, was considered to be a sacred instrument and was generally kept in the temple and used to accompany a repertoire of sacred songs. And number 5, Native American. And let's look at various drums from the Indian tribes. Native American tribes have been using various kinds of drums for thousands of years, and each tribe has its own unique kind and application. For many of these tribes, the drum represents the heartbeat of Mother Earth. Powwows, which are social gatherings that celebrate Native American culture and heritage, prominently feature drums. The steady beat of the drum during these gatherings is believed to bring harmony and balance. Now, these drums are utilized in social events, ceremonies, and rituals, and they are revered and thought to serve as a bridge between the material and the spiritual realms. The powwow drum is central to the ceremonies, and it's often large enough to be played by multiple drummers. Each beat is a call to the spirits, a connection to nature, and a unifying force for the community.
Rojas says native drums are treated like elders, held in the highest regard.
We wouldn't leave our elders out in the cold without a blanket. We wouldn't leave our elders alone. We carry our drum with us. We keep it warm.
Indigenous people have been using drums for centuries in ceremonies, celebrations, and spiritual gatherings to communicate with tribal ancestors. Drums are also used to help heal the sick and vulnerable.
So across the globe, drums play a vital role in cultural expression, communication, and community. They are more than just instruments, but they are a universal language that speaks to the soul, that's connecting us through the power of rhythm. So we've learned that every civilization has its own drum kinds and its own playing styles that are reflected in its customs and social beliefs. And I hope that gaining knowledge about the functions of the drums in the different cultures might help you to appreciate the historic and modern relevance. Now, as we have learned, drums have been around since early mankind. And through the ages, the fundamental design is generally the same. Not to mention the great musicians and the people who make the music, but also the instruments that they play. So let's explore some more cool drums from around the world. So let's go. First up, the damaru from India and Tibet. Now, this beautiful drum is a small two-headed drum traditionally used in Hindu and Tibetan Buddhist rituals. It's associated with the deity Shiva in Hinduism and is believed to be a powerful spiritual instrument. This drum is shaped like an hourglass, and it typically is made from wood or metal. It has two drum heads made of animal skin, and it's played by the twisting the drum rapidly back and forth, causing the attached knotted strings to strike the drum heads. It looks something like this, but let's look at someone that really plays this instrument. Let's move on to the daf drum from the Middle East. The daf is a large frame drum used in Persian, Arabic, Kurdish, and Turkish music. It has its ancient origins and has been used in various cultural and religious contexts throughout the Middle East. Now, this drum is made from a wooden frame that's covered with animal skin. It often has metal rings or chains that's attached to the inside of the frame, which gives you that jingling sound when the drum is played, and it's often played by striking or shaking the drum head like a tambourine. And we know how the tambourine is played, so let's take a look at someone that plays the daf. Up next, the ashiko from West Africa. The ashiko is a cone-shaped drum from West Africa, and it's used in various traditional ceremonies and celebrations. The drum's design and playing technique are similar to those of other African drums. Now, this drum is also made from wood and has a drum head that's made of animal skin, and it's played with the hands that produces a deep, resonant tone, and the drum's tapered shape allows for a wide range of sounds. Let's now look at the kendang from Indonesia. Now, this is a traditional drum used in gamelan ensembles in Indonesia, particularly in Java and Bali. It is an essential instrument in various traditional Indonesian musical forms, including dance and theater. Now, this drum is made with drum heads on both ends, typically made of animal skin as well, and it's played with the hands and sometimes with a stick. The drum pitch can be altered by pressing on the drum head while playing. Of years, drums have been an essential component of human civilization, playing a variety of roles in many cultures around the globe. Up next, the bow run from Ireland. Now, this traditional Irish frame drum was believed to have originated in the 18th century. It was initially used in folk music and now is the staple in Irish traditional music sessions. Let's look at the tabla from India. Now, these drums are a pair of hand-played drums from India with roots that date back to ancient Indian music. It consists of two drums, the smaller being the dayan, the larger being the bayan. The tabla has a rich history in classical Indian music. And lastly, my favorite, the steel pan drum, which is from Trinidad and Tobago. Now, this drum, also known as the steel drum, was invented in Trinidad and Tobago in the 1930s. It emerged from a local tradition of repurposing discarded oil drums into musical instruments. Today, it is an iconic part of Caribbean music. So these drums represent a diverse range of cultures and histories, each contributing to the rich tapestry of global music traditions. Hey there, music enthusiasts. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and share. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the video about the history of drums.